So we'll begin shortly. Just check the PC. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to BCUSU Student Members Meeting 2026. My name is Richard Duffy, and Student Voice Facilitator this year, and I will be taking us through the meeting today. Just so you are aware, this will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube, as well as the BCUSU web. And let's just go on to the agenda. During our meeting today, we will call speakers to discuss some important bits of student union governance, as well as our financial and business updates from senior management team and trustees. We will also ask you to vote twice during the afternoon and give you the chance to win one of three £100 vouchers. Every student who has joined this call today is automatically entered. Just move on. So if this is your first time attending a student members meeting, you might be wondering why, what it is, why it's important. BCUSU is a membership organisation. Student members meeting is where we give you updates on the progress that we've made during the last academic year, and that includes changes which were made and where money was spent to give you the best university experience possible. Student members meeting also forms part of our governance structure, and those are the key procedures and rules that help keep the SU running effectively. If you want to understand more about the process, you can look at the student members meeting page on our website. Slide, and this will detail how the voting is going to happen. So as you can hopefully see on your screen at the moment, there is a QR code and a code for menti.com. That's how we will be undertaking the voting today. There are two items we will ask you to options. For instance, you can vote yes to approve the item, no to reject it, or abstain if you are unsure or have no strong feelings either way. As I mentioned, we do have Menti, so I invite you to bring that up. Now, it may ask you for a code, and that's a 1263 5098. Sorry. Sorry, I do have too many screens open at the moment. So whilst we get your ballots ready, let me explain the votes we'll be taking today. So in the first instance, we have the ratification of the minutes of the last meeting, which took place on the 15th of May 2025. It is a crucial part of our governance that we verify the minutes of the last meeting and that they are a true and accurate account of what happened and what was said. We understand a lot of you may have not had the opportunity to attend the last meeting, but hopefully you've had a chance to have a look at the minutes on the BCUSU website. The next voting point that we will be asking you to vote on is approving the affiliations. So BCUSU pay to be affiliated with numerous organisations and accrediting bodies. These give us various benefits and opportunities that help provide services that improve your university experience. These are the current affiliations and the costs for this current academic year, as well as the confirmed or estimated costs for the continued affiliation for the next academic year in the column highlighted in green, which I will bring up in a moment. One of the largest affiliations is with the National Union of Students, NUS. The Advice Centre is also affiliated with Advice UK and the UK Council for International Student Affairs. The activities and representation team are affiliated with Film Bank Media and Scratch Radio are affiliated with the Student Radio Association and Ofcom. And I will just bring up that slide now for you, which contains the figures of what it was spent or what is due to be spent. Please go ahead now and cast your votes verifying both the minutes of the last meeting and affiliations. Again, yes to accept, no to reject or abstain if you're unsure. Either way, I will now give you a couple of minutes to do so. the minutes of the last meeting. No votes were cast to ratify those minutes, so we will continue and seek ratification separately. For the approval of affiliations, 8 voted in favour, 2 voted against, and 3 abstained. That means the affiliations have been passed. Do I just bring us back to the presentation? Received an apology from Head of Central Services, Angie. So in her absence, I will now pass over to the Chief Executive Officer, Susie, to deliver the presentation on these accounts.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Richard. So I'll run through our finances for last financial year. So just to confirm, that was for the year ending 2024 to 2025. Our accounts are always created and approved a year later. So they don't account for this current year that we're all operating in now. And we operate our years from the 1st of August until the 31st of July each year. So I'll run through where we were in 2024, 2025. So during that year, BCUSU remained financially stable while still continuing to invest in services that we hope matter the most to students. So continue to put money into representation and opportunities, which included societies throughout the year. Our total income for the year, as you'll see on the next slide, was just under £3.9 million, and then that was balanced off with an expenditure, so don't get too excited, but an expenditure of £3.6 million. So we did have an operating surplus of around 249,000, but we used that money then to ring fence into a strategic investment fund that we could continue to invest in the student experience year round. So our total income was 3.9 million, which was just the slide before. The surplus that we created throughout the year, it wasn't generated through cutting services. Instead, it reflects kind of management. We work with the trustee board to monitor every single penny that we spend, that we work through. We do that through to our trustee board. They regularly review our financial performance and ensure that we're spending our money responsibly and sustainably. So hopefully we will continue to see that financial management coming into this financial year, which we'll talk about at the student members meeting this time next year. So in terms of where our money came from on that slide before, you will just see that we've get an annual kind of block grant from the university, and that comes to a level of 1.8 million. This represents a second year of increase in investment from the university. And so the executive team of BCU, so that's David Umber as the Vice Chancellor, Board of Governors, and on the Board of sits our president, this year Showkat Masood, and our vice president education, which this year is Craig David. But the previous year were obviously the previous officer team, but they sit on that board and determine how much money should be invested in different departments across the university, and they've been part of that decision making and influencing process to increase that for the last 2 years in a row. So you'll see the majority of our money does come from the university in the form of a block grant, and that funds our core charitable activities and student services. Anything that we deliver is considered charitable activity. As a registered charity, we are able to do that, and our aims of our charity are to advance the educational position of students at BCU. In addition to the block grant money that the university give us, we also get accommodation, as in the office spaces that we take up, and the student spaces that we're able to offer through kind of student kitchens or the student hub or Scratch Radio, for example. So spaces across campus, and they all have a financial value that we don't have to pay for, because the university provide that for us free of charge, including cleaning it and providing the IT and services for it. We also generate our income through our commercial activities. So again, you'll see from that slide before that we have an overall kind of income generation through that. And then this slide here then just breaks that that down. So you can see through our bars and catering. So for those who frequent the Eagle and Ball or Social Kitchen over at City South, we generated £393,569 through the shop. Again, this is before costs as well, so we need to consider that whilst we do generate that income, actually we take all the staffing and costs of sales out of that as well. And again, the same for our shops. So you can see there, sorry, my eyesight is terrible, but our shops was £842,291 throughout the year previously. So if we go into the next slide, we can talk a little bit about how we've spent our money. So we exist to deliver value for students, and I've spoken about our charitable objectives in terms of advancing education for BCU students. So we put all of our money back into services, support and opportunities for students. And that includes funding our advice service, student voice, our reps and representation work, any of the student engagement activities and development opportunities. That includes everything through our societies and sports groups. And the services, anything that we do really that supports our students every day, including our officer team who represent students at the highest levels across the university. You'll also see within there our staffing costs. So certainly our biggest outlay for us, our staff, but that also includes the student staff who work for our outreach teams, student voice, and then in our shops and bars as well. So you'll see that our expenditure total on staff during the 24-25 financial year was 1.7 million and some change. But that also represents a 45% increase in student staff, and that's trying to put money directly back in the pockets of students at BCU. So we have taken on a new policy in terms of wherever possible, maximising our student staff opportunities, so that not only are we delivering services to students, but we're delivering services to students from students. And that's certainly something that we continue to aim to do. And again, our trustees closely monitor our spending, make sure that where we're spending our money aligns with our strategy and delivering meaningful benefits for our students. So then just generally in terms of our financial position, one of the other roles and responsibilities of the trustee board is to make sure that the organisation remains secure financially, not just for the year that we're in, but also in future years as well. And at the end of the year, we managed to maintain reserves that are just above the level that we would expect. So in order to be a strong financial organisation, we should have reserves that could keep us going for at least 3 months if everything went wrong. So if we stopped receiving an income for whatever reason, whether that be through the university block grant or from our bars or shops, then we would be able to keep everything going. We'd be able to keep paying our staff and our student staff for at least 3 months before we would then need to start doing something a bit more drastic. So hopefully that gives some financial protection against any sort of unexpected challenges, and helps to ensure that core student services would continue uninterrupted. So even if lots of things went wrong, our advice service, for example, would still be available to students so that your education could continue. Any support that you may require through that would be there too. During the year in 24-25, our trustees also approved a couple of strategic investment fund projects, and I won't speak to them in too much detail because Showkat will run through the actions and decisions of our trustee board for the year, but certainly one of those investments includes investment in spaces for students so that we can improve the student experience, but we're doing that in a way that's affordable and financially resilient. And again, trustees have always got an eye on the longer term financial sustainability, as well as always looking for opportunities to diversify our income wherever possible, and steering us to move away from trying to generate income from students to then invest it back in students. We're always trying to find ways to generate income outside of that. So in terms of the breakdown, you'll see there the raising funds. So we spent 1.2 million on our marketing and sponsorship kind of development through the year, and that generated an income for us, surplus total at the end of £90,000. So whilst we spent 1.2 million on all of those marketing, and that includes things like our BCUSU branding, it includes our marketing staff, it includes our social media, digital engagement, student staff assistants. So that includes absolutely everything. It includes things like hiring the marquee for Welcome Fair, hiring tables throughout the year and spaces to be able to host big brands on campus. So all of those costs kind of rack up to 1.2 million, but that did generate an income of us for us around our sponsorship for 90,000. So not bad in terms of that return on investment. There are some plans to try to move that and increase that as the year goes on. But in terms of that, mostly what I'm here to kind of express to members is to provide that assurance that our finances are managed kind of appropriately, transparently. We report into our board throughout the year. So 3 times a year we meet for audit and risk, and then 4 times a year we meet for our board of trustees to go through all of our finances. And in terms of then checking that as well, so we have lots of operational checks and balances in-house, but we also use every year an external auditor, professional auditors. For the 3rd year running, our external auditors have been a company called Cooper Parry. All of their audit report is published on Companies House and the Charities Commission, alongside the full breakdown of our finances and our trustee report for the year. So for those of you who wish to, there is a link within the slides that will be published, and they are published on our website every year. Or you can just go onto Companies House and search up BCUSU, and you'll have access to all of our incoming accounts. But our external auditors, Cooper Parry, came back on our 2024-2025 accounts, having asked lots of questions and looked at our processes, asked for examples of paperwork, and they issued a clean audit opinion. This means that they're satisfied that the accounts provide a true and fair view of BCUSU's financial position, and that we've complied with all the relevant charity and company law requirements throughout the year. So there were no concerns flagged around financial reporting or governance arrangements. And again, just really reassuring and providing that assurance to our members, students, that our finances and the way that we manage them is appropriate and transparent. I think that's everything from my perspective. Unless there's anything that you want me to cover off in more detail, Richard, then I can do. Otherwise, after the trustee board update that will be delivered by Showcat, there's an opportunity for a Q&A. So if anybody has any questions around the finances, I'm happy to try to answer them for you. But the main message is that BCU remains well and accountable and able to continue delivering for students from a financially sustainable perspective.
Thank you, Susie. That was a really good explanation, and it's always good to know that things are being done for the benefit of students. So up next, we do have the report of our trustee board that will be delivered by our President Showcat. As a registered charity, our board of trustees are responsible for ensuring that we meet our charitable aims and objectives. The board is made up of 3 types of trustees. Firstly, external trustees who offer business expertise to guide the running of the union. Our current external trustees are Stephen Harrison Murfield, who acts as the board's chair, Rupert Newman, and Nana Akua Sawa Adolfo, who I believe is on the call with us. There are also student trustees, so these are current students who offer their perspective to guide our work, again reinforcing what Susie has just said about students being involved in the work that is delivered. Our current student Hassan Mahmood and Mohammed Atmoulay. Then we have our officer trustees. Hopefully you know who they are. So that they were elected in spring of 2025. So this will change again this year with the new trustees, the new elected officers coming in. So currently they are Showkat Masood, Oliver Damilola Ianda, Christina Patel, Craig David, and Wahid Umatia. You can read more about who our trustees are on our website, or for continuing students who wish to become one in the future, you can find out more information on our website. I will shortly invite Showkat to come and talk us through the decisions and actions the board has taken this year. And again, if you do have any questions as we move through, please put them in the Q&A box, and he'll have an opportunity to answer them. So if I can bring Showkat up, please.
Thank you so much, Richard. Really appreciate. Yeah, for those who don't know me, name is Shaukat Masood, and I'm the current president. I will go through the trustee board update and the just I want to quickly, mention to Craig. Could you please mute this, Craig? Because we are. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, he is just muting. Thank you so much. Sorry for the inconvenience. Actually, we officers are kind of online from the same office. But yeah, I will love to go through all the updates of the trustee board. But before going into detail, I would like to welcome Nana, who is our external trustee. She is online definitely at the end of this, presentation. I'm more than happy, and she'll be happy to answer any question as well. So like Richard mentioned, our trustee board is kind of consists of a chair of the trustee, chair, some external trustees, and also student trustees. So chair is of course ST1 and also external trustee. Could you please move the next slide, Richard? Yes, so these are some decisions and actions which we took as a BCUSU trustee board. These include approval of the review of BCUSU bylaws and governance process to make sure, to strengthen the accountability and improve clarity around decision making and ensure BCUSU continuously reflect the sector best practice. Alongside this, this year, we also approved major reform to BCUSU election rules for 2026. These include updated the campaigning rules for candidate well-being and also clearly eligibility requirement. These are these decisions are based on the feedback of previous elections. Could you please move to the next slide? Yeah, some of the kind of decision which we took as a trustee board as well, approve the updates of ideas board. This was something based on the feedback from the students. So ideas board, a governance process including a clear annual process for setting voting threshold and trustee oversight arrangement. Alongside this, strengthen the governance and compliance process by improving the trustee declaration procedure and company house checks and internal verification process, just to make sure we are, that we should be transparent and also, kind of everything we do align with the sector and align with the charity law as well. This year, we also reviewed the organizational budget financial performance, which we do every year, and reserves alongside the long-term financial sustainability throughout the year to ensure BCUSU remain financially secure. Like Susie mentioned, everything which we do is in the best interest of the student union and best interest of the student of the BCU. Could you move to the next slide, Richard? Yeah, some of the other decisions include approve the strategic investment fund framework, including the trustee oversight and reporting requirement to support strategic project that improve the student experience. These strategic projects based on the student experience, it include the kind of redevelopment of the plot C2 to create more social spaces, because as a student union, our main kind of responsibility is to educate for the student, provide the best opportunities and experience. Of course, university should not be only a place for the academic, but yes, social experience is also development, which is the need, which is also kind of the feedback which we're receiving regularly from the student. Also, live chat enable student support kiosk across the campuses. As you all know, as a university, we are very scattered of different campuses as well. So this year, in terms of to make sure represent each and every student of the BCU in different campuses, we are kind of developing our outpost as well. So there will be a live chat which student can access, to the information available for them, and the wider and student engagement visibility, the creation of outpost. Alongside this, we monitor the commercial performance challenges, overseeing the plan to improve the long-term sustainability. Could you please move to the next slide, Richard? Yeah, also what we call the ComSpaces initiative. This was something a really kind of good work and collaboration with the university. But yes, ComSpace was something which we receive from the students regularly. These ComSpaces will be kind of allocated at both campuses, at City Center and also at City South as well. So at City Center, one is opening tomorrow, and I will like to kind of invite all of you to come and join us for the opening of the ComSpaces tomorrow at City Center. Alongside this, work of the cross institution to campaign for the implementation of Safe Zone initiative. Actually, Safe Zone is something a really good safety app. You might be aware, or if not, so I would love to kind of talk about a little bit. Safety was a concern of the students. A student mentioned in our Alter Lines survey, 49% students feel unsafe off campus. So we work with the university to make sure our students feel safe and supported. This year, university approved the safety kind of app through which student can get an immediate support and also access to the support available to them as well. But yes, Safe Zone is something which I will definitely, if you guys want, I can give more detail after the meeting as well. Could you please move to the next slide? Yeah, in terms of the referendum of the NUS, this was something, of course, as a student union, as a charitable organization, it is our responsibility to make sure what we do should be for the best interest of the students. So this is why we call a referendum this year, to give an opportunity to the BCU student that to decide that whether we should remain affiliated with the NUS UK or disaffiliate. But based on the referendum and result of the referendum, we will be remain affiliated with the NUS UK and alongside NUS charity as well. And also, as a trustee board this year, we also protected the democratic officer rules and rejected proposal that will move the role towards the recruitment style selection process. So yeah, as a student union, of course, we believe on democracy. So there was a proposal on the recruitment style, which is a trustee board. We rejected it. So the election will be happening through the democratic process, not through the recruitment process. Also, we approved the well-being, accessibility, and fairness improvement for students election, including restriction on the campaign horse to support student well-being and also improve the candidate support and guidance. The introduction of a regular election slate, which we kind of approved this year. Yes, there was some kind of really good feedback in terms of the less complaints and in terms of the good support for the candidates as well. Could you please move to the next slide, Richard? Yes, as a trustee board, we also approved this year a protected student action for refugee society, which free to join in line with the BCUSU commitment to the inclusion and also accessible students opportunity. Alongside this, we approved an increase to enhance the maternity pay for from 16 weeks to 26 weeks full pay as part of the BCUSU staff retention. Of course, as a student union, as a trustee board, this was our kind of a good decision in terms of the, of course, staff well-being is important. So this was something which we approved this year as well. Alongside this, approved new staff well-being and benefit initiative, including healthcare support, salary sacrifices schemes, transport benefit, discount platform, and wider well-being support for our staff as well, to make sure our staff as well feel supported and also facilitated as well. Could you please move to the next slide? Yeah, in terms of the our decision, we also approved the improvement to job evaluation, big management process to improve fairness, transparency, consistency, and staff development as well. Also, we monitored workforce diversity, which is, of course, is a student union. We strongly believe on equity, diversity, and inclusion. Alongside this, we updated and monitored the BCUSU strategic registered throughout the year, including risk related to the election integrity, talent retention, and financial sustainability, and resilience, and yes, a reliance on the block grant funding. Could you please move to the next slide? Alongside this, improvement to HR system workforce, reporting, manager training, and organization accountability process as well. We also approved this year the updated employment contract and HR policies to improve legal compliance, accessibility, clarity, and organizational consistency as well. Alongside this, we approved organizational restructure and partnership and finance design to strengthen the commercial sustainability and operational capacity. And as a trustee board, we continued monitoring progress against the organizational objective, student engagement priorities, and strategic development and plans across the BCUSU. Would you please move to the next slide, Richard?
Sheikhat, that's the end
Oh,
of the report.
thank you. Thank you so much. There was a lot of decision which we took this year as a trustee board as well. But I'm more than happy to answer any question. Of course, Nana is here as well. We will try our best to answer your question as a trustee. It is our responsibility, to provide a good kind of answers and term of the opportunity to you guys as well. Over to you.
So you are able to use the Q&A function in the chat if you do have any questions. If we take a short break for a couple of minutes and just see if there are any questions that come in, and don't forget we do have the prize draw, so please do stay tuned. We'll just take a couple of minutes break. A question come in. The audio dropped out, so that part of the presentation was missed. Thomas, do you have any specific questions for Showcase or anyone? And we can address them. The slides will be made available as well as a recording. of the presentation as well.
Richard, I don't know if it's still possible. Are you able to share just the first couple of slides, and we can just very, very quickly, we don't need to cover the content, but just the subject matter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's no problem at all. Let me bring that up.
Fabulous. So Thomas, just so that you know, so the very first kind of 5 minutes, if you go all the way back to the start, Richard. Sorry. So Richard opened to the meeting. He provided an agenda. If you flick to the next slide, and as you can see here, we for everybody the minutes from last meeting. What is the student members meeting, and then a ratification of last year's student members meeting, and then approval of affiliations. And if we just pause on this slide. This is the current list of affiliations, and the vote went out for all members present to either approve or not on this one. And so those in the room did vote to approve. I think that probably covers the first 5 minutes, because we then went into the financial update. So I don't know if there's anything that you missed there, Thomas, that you wanted to ask any questions on, but otherwise, hopefully that gives you a whirlwind of what we did in the first 5 minutes. And as Richard said, it will all be uploaded online and available for students to kind of ask questions and scrutinise afterwards as well. This isn't a closed opportunity to ask questions about any of this.
Thank you, Susie. So I don't see anything else in the chat. So I will now move to the next part of the meeting. Just that's where I was with the slides. So there's any other business. This is normally submitted prior to the meeting, but we've had none. So it now leads to the bit that I think some of you may find more interesting than the other bits, which is the draw of the voucher. And of course, the whole of student members meeting is important. We will draw 3 winners for these, and you'll be able to choose where your voucher is for, including Fortnum and Mason if you're a tea drinker, as I did in my first year, being a bit obscure. So these numbers will be drawn at random. When you joined. So if we just go to another short break just while that happens. And if you do have any questions in the meantime, just drop them in the chat, because we are running quite well on time. So I'm sure we'll have time to address those. Thank you. So I do now have the results of the prize draw, and I do have a prop as well. So drum roll, please. There we are. The winners. So the first winner is Thomas Cowood. Congratulations. The second winner is Jafita Isra. And the final winner is Gurneet Kaur. And we'll be in touch with you after the meeting to explain the process to claim your vouchers. So if I just bring the PowerPoint back up, and we are coming to the end of the student members meeting for 2026. So in drawing this meeting to the close, I thank you for your attendance and your involvement in the democratic process of our union. I extend further gratitude to the staff of BCUSU, the trustees and the elected officer team who are committed to ensuring your student experience at BCU is meaningful. And many congratulations to the winners of the prize draw. On a personal note, this is my very last public event as a student voice facilitator at BCUSU because I will shortly be graduating. In addition to what I have just said, I wish to extend my personal thanks to BCUSU for the support you have extended to me during my tenure as a student voice facilitator over the past couple of years. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I am content in the knowledge that BCUSU does and will continue to do is undertaken in a meaningful manner that ensures that the student experience is one that is valuable and meaningful. The work of the union cannot be underestimated. As always, if you want to know more or get involved with your student union, please do not hesitate to speak to a member of student union staff or visit our website at bcusu.com. That concludes Student Members Meeting 2026.
Bye, everyone.